Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Seen and Beyond. I will get back to my predictions soon, but this is a very important topic since it came up the other day, and I find this to be very unsettling and a little bit disturbing. Actually, a lot disturbing. Just watch it.
This is not a test. This is not a test. This is a real life or death state of emergency. I'm calling out to the African American community to give you some facts. We are in a life or death state of emergency. 1 out of 10 Americans are black. 1 out of 2 of the corona fatalities are black. We are in trouble, my people. We have to come together. We have to communicate. They're not going to give us any time on the news. They're not going to come up with the solutions for us. We have to come up with our own solutions. Check this out. Okay? In Illinois, out of 15%, 42% is African American. In Louisiana, African American. In Michigan, 41% African American. Out of 16,000 deaths, 8,000 of them are African American. So tonight I put together an incredible panel. Dr. Jess, Big Sean, Charles Blow, Latoya Cantrell, Al Sharpton. This is the mayor of Louisiana getting hit the hardest. My brother Meek Mill, Ayanna Presley. Van Jones is going to help me moderate because it's not my full-time job. I like to call her AOC. Okay? Aaron True. He's an economist. He's going to show us how to get to that bag. Got a $2 trillion stimulus package. We want our fair share. Royce the 5'9", Killer Mike, Angela Rye, YBN Corday, Kamara Jones, my brother Fat Joe, Reverend Al Sharpton. Let's go. Tonight on Revolt, Revolt's YouTube. You can watch from your phone. You can watch if you're at home. So look at it as a mandatory family meeting that everybody must show up to, okay? We're going to be talking.
Okay, that was P. Diddy. And he held a Revolt summit just a couple of days ago. He got together a group of panelists, not experts, which is a problem, to tackle the nuances of racism, white supremacy, a potentially disease that can affect a certain group. I would believe that you have to have experts. I do not believe that any other group of people will have singers, rappers, what is that, host up there, politicians. Politicians are not experts when it comes to stats, when it comes to numbers. They're not doctors. And here's just a mind you the problems with that. First of all, I commend him for trying to do something. I really do. And I believe that his heart was in the right place. It was in a good place. I believe that. But, and there's a lot of buts there, he's coming from a standpoint of believing the stats and the numbers of mainstream media. And that's a big problem. And it's called a Revolt Summit. Okay, if it's called a Revolt Summit, what are you revolting against? If you're believing the stats that the dominant society is putting out there, which are heavily manipulated, which are constructed in a way to make blacks seem like they are the number one group of people with COVID-19, if you're believing this, then it seems like it's kind of counterproductive because you're starting from a place of fallacy. You're starting from a place of believing a lie, pretty much. And I don't see how you can build on that. When you start building from a lie or building from an untruth, you're going into the wrong direction. And you're not going into a direction that's going to be beneficial for your people. The problem here, too, is that Puff Diddy, he must be worth about $800 to $900 million. With that type of money, with that type of funding, first off, that is more than 99% of the American male population, white male population. Majority of white people in America are not worth that type of money. Now, that's enough money, in my opinion, to go into the right direction would be to hire statisticians, to hire doctors, to hire investigators, to hire people who can investigate numbers, stats, who can look through medical literature, to hire writers, or people who can look and see, let me make sure that before I hold this summit, before I make this announcement, that these numbers are indeed correct. Because if you're ignoring that, then you are ignoring a lot about America. You're ignoring the history of America. And America has a history of lying, manipulating, deceiving people, particularly when it comes to black people, their crime rate, their illness rate, their death rate, their disease rate, and all of that. As Dr. Francis Cress Wesling stated, if you don't understand white supremacy and how it works, you will not understand anything else. And this, unfortunately, is a perfect example of that. This type of announcement that he made, almost like, wearing a dire need or whatever, to put it in my words, we're in a crisis. Nothing can be farther from the truth. Blacks are not in a crisis. The majority of black people will still be around. When COVID-19 is over, the majority of us blacks will still be standing. The only thing that we're in a crisis about is the crisis of people constantly lying about us. And that's what should have been addressed. I didn't watch the summit. I watched the first one. I was so turned off by it. They just didn't have any experts on there. They never have experts in the black community who are knowledgeable in social economics, who are knowledgeable, I think, in numbers, black history. They just don't have experts on there. I heard from a good source who watched it stating that there was really no definitive, conclusions or definitive answers done to the end, where they touched on diet and proper nutrition. And, the people on there, Puffy himself, does he have a proper diet? What type of nutrition is he on? I mean, is he advocating cutting out, red meat, advocating cutting out junk food? Is he advocating getting away from drinking, over drinking? Is he advocating getting away from processed foods and sugars and things like that? I would like to know that. It just seems like to me that this is counterproductive, because what it would end up doing, it would turn blacks against other blacks. How? Another negative imagery, another negative stat, a negative poll. What they tend to do, they highlight the negativity of a group, they turn that group against each other. It has the opposite effect of bringing people together, and in fact tears them apart. To hate one another, pretty much. And that's pretty much what this type of summit will do, this type of announcement would do. Him being up there not really understanding where these numbers come from. He would do a lot better before you make this, before you try to designate yourself as being a leader. I would just be the person behind who is funding things, whereas I'm funding people who know a lot more than me, who can divulge into the numbers, who can get facts, who can understand medical research and things like that. The problem with that is that when you do not have like a critical thinking mindset, you end up going off, and that's pretty much what happened here. So hopefully in the future, I mean, we can all learn. We can learn from this. We can pick up from this. Hopefully pride and ego will not get in the way. That will prevent us from wanting to learn. And we'll admit that, well, maybe I was a little wrong right here. Let me just slow my roll. And in the future, I would tend to be more cognizant of the type of society we live in and where we came from. So with that, that was another edition of Seeing and Believing. If you like the content, come back. If you like it even more, subscribe. And I will catch you guys next time.